interview with Eliud Kipchoge. I got to admit, Gordon, I watched a million Eliud Kipchoge interviews. I don't think I've ever seen one where he turns it on the interviewer at the end, and especially to you with the U.S. vaccine update. Did you feel a little bit of pressure there? You have the greatest men's marathoner of all time wanting your thoughts on the current pandemic in the United States.
I wasn't prepared for I didn't have the numbers offhand, so I wasn't. I kind of was caught off guard, but I think I handled it well. When the greatest of all time is asking you about your country's status, you feel like obliged to at least give him some type of information, and I feel like I did my best. So, but it is interesting. I
can see the gears moving in your head. He's like, so do some people want it or not? And you're like, I don't know how I go with this one. How much time do you have?
I just thought it was interesting that that's like something that that other countries think about, like, oh, how's it going over there? Because we're so stuck thinking about, are the Sixers going to have 40% capacity or 10% or whatever, and just thinking about, can I go into a Walgreens or not? Then other people, we don't think about how this is happening in Kenya or in Japan or in Europe. So I thought it was kind of interesting. It opened my eyes. It's like, oh yeah, the pandemic isn't just a U.S. thing; it's a worldwide thing.
I also will remember this interview as the one where you said he looked fresh in the GQ clothes. That was a good moment. I want to spotlight in on that. He seemed to like that. And also, in the beginning part of the interview, you asked him where does he want to run a marathon, because he's already run an F1 track. He's already run in an airport. He's run all across the world. And he said he wants to run on a ship. I think that might be the headline. I don't think I've heard that before. Again, you interview these superstars, and they've done a million interviews, so you never really get anything new out of them sometimes. But I think the breaking news here, if we have any aggregators out there, is Kipchoge wants to run on a ship.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was like a translation issue, or because, English isn't his first language. So I didn't really want to – I kind of went on to the next question because I was like, did he mean an actual like cruise ship? Because how do you run a marathon on a cruise ship? It didn't really make much sense. But maybe that's what he meant. I don't know. Maybe you have to re-listen to it over and over again to make sure that's exactly what he meant. But like, what would you do on a ship? How would you do a marathon on a ship?
Well, some of those are huge. Like those aircraft carriers are enormous. I mean, it's still a lot of laps, obviously, but it's not as crazy as those people who do indoor marathons.
Yeah,
on 200-meter tracks. No, I think we have it right, because during the interview, got a text from Lincoln, took a break from working on his backhand, and he commented on the ship part as well too. So it wasn't just me that heard it. Also, Lincoln was very pumped up to learn that you were doing the interview. When we teased it last night, he texted me, he said, please say that Gordon is doing this. Please say that Gordon is in charge of this interview.
Oh, check this out. Man plans to run a marathon while on a cruise ship. This was 2016. A 0.27-mile track will require 100 laps. Maybe he's thinking like, hey, I want to go on a cruise and I need to get some training in. And I can say, he wants to do a Caribbean vacay. And he said, hey, why not turn it into an event sponsored by NN Running, get everyone to watch it. And he can just run like a 2:10 marathon and everyone freaks out. Maybe he's trying to take advantage of his stardom. Do you know what would be cool on a ship? I've always said this. I want to see a dash on a ship, but the finish line is where the ship ends. So when you cross the finish line, you just basically run into the ocean. Wouldn't that be cool?
Well, how high up is it? We don't want people to get hurt.
You make it so it's you make it so it's okay to fall into the water. But when you see a 60, everyone runs into the padded wall, right?
Yeah.
Instead of running into a padded wall, you just run into the ocean.
Okay.
Like,
hopefully no one gets a cramp.
I think that'd be kind of cool to watch. Just like you as soon as they cross the finish line, they're like they can't slow down and they just have to fall into the water. That'll be like a visually pretty cool thing. Oh, look at this. All right. Paris 2024 holds 100-meter race on the river. Yeah, wouldn't this be cool? I guess, are they going to fall into the water in that situation?
I don't know if they're going to fall in. They might stop ahead of time, but you got to love the natural backdrop here. That's a pretty cool shot right there.
Yeah.
I just would think, imagine the visuals, though, of Kipchoge just say, for example, it's a quarter mile around, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of turning, but it's not crazy. The visuals would be cool because you get a drone up there, right? And you're just following
Yeah.
him go around, and I don't know if the ship would be stationary, if the ship would be moving. It might cause you a little bit of seasickness out there, but it would be. I could see him, honestly, of all people, I could see him doing something like that in the future, right? Like, I don't know. He's got to stay interested. Like, he seems like his whole thing is just, I want to keep people, I want to inspire people. I want to keep doing new and different things. And if it popped into his head, at least, he's been thinking about it a little bit. It wasn't just something, oh man, Gordon asked me this hard hitting question. How do I respond? I think at a certain level, he's probably thought about it. Maybe he's a big, maybe he likes cruises. Maybe he likes the ocean.
Maybe he wants to, be able to expense his cruise vacation and turn it into an event. You're like, oh, it's a work expense. I'm doing a marathon. All right. Yeah. So Nike will pay for it. I don't know.
Great interview. Good job, Gordon. I'm proud of you. Well done.
I tried.
Let's talk about those